make room for an extra helping of the Everybody Comes Late Show. With a side of 3,000 sandwiches. Special guests, Aaron Hasnudeen, Katy Lesiak. Still hanging on with the Christmas carols, it's Chris Tripolino and the Jacobs Well Band. And of course, the host with the most, Greg Meyer.
No one told you to stop. No. Yeah, all right. Great, hey, welcome. Good to see you all this morning, Jacobs Well. Welcome to the Everybody Comes Late Show. I'm Greg Meyer, the host of the show. Some people call the pastor, but we'll go with host for right now. So I'm all fresh right off Christmas, as all of you folks are, which was pretty exciting. And not only Christmas, I am just hot off the heels of Boxing Day. Yeah, I mean, what's better than Boxing Day? I've had that explained to me so many times, I have no idea what Boxing Day is, you know? But the Brits...
You're not big on sports, are you?
Yeah, right. But Brits are so good at naming things. I mean, their favorite food is bangers and smash. You know, what do you expect? Boxing Day, you know? How can we top Christmas? How about Boxing Day? Anyway, so we've got Boxing Day. And besides that, it snowed. All right. I mean, yeah, I'm ready for it now. It's Christmas. I think it's about time we had some snow. So that's pretty exciting. Lots of really good stuff here. I don't know, but there's a little check-in I really feel like we need to do. Last week we had Santa Claus here. St. Nick was here. We got is that Santa Claus or was that Santa Claus, folks? He was right here in this room. Brenda Caselius, the State Commissioner of Education, sat on his lap. I mean, that's how, it doesn't get better than that. And, but he told us that, due to the global warming effects of coal and some behavior modification policy changes on the North Pole, they've done away with the whole, naughty and nice list, as well as the coal stuff. So, just a check-in. Anybody get coal? All right, let's hear it. Okay. You don't know how good that makes me feel personally. Yeah, that's first year for me. But so that's all going on. And another Christmas news that's going on these days. I don't know if you all heard about the big tree at Rockefeller Plaza. They've been putting up a big Christmas tree there for the last, I think, since 1911 or something, when the construction workers chipped in themselves and put one up. And this year, there's a picture of it. An 85-foot Norway spruce from Danville, Pennsylvania was brought in. And the big thing, the reason it's all getting talked about this year, is they're going to actually, going to mill this tree, and they're going to take the lumber from it and use it on Habitat for Humanity houses in the Danville, Pennsylvania area, because that makes it local, right? I mean, it came from there and went to downtown New York. Which is, it just sounds like such a good idea. Let's take a tree, let's move it whole into Manhattan and set it up, for weeks with all these decorations, and then we'll take it to one of the sawmills on 42nd Street and 5th Avenue, any one of them, any of them, somewhere between Macy's and NBC Studios. And we'll cut it into lumber, and then we'll take that lumber and they're going to stamp it and have all the people who work on the houses write on it. And they have enough for 2 boards for each of the 5 houses that they're working on. Admittedly, the CEO of Habitat for Humanity said, we aren't actually saving a lot of money doing this. Like really, I mean, they could have made these boards out of solid gold and it would have cost less money. But, we do things. It's a Christmas spirit.
They'll still have all those lights on it, though. On those boards, right?
I hope so. I hope so. One of the owners was saying, I hope they put it someplace so that we can still see it. I mean, honest, behind these walls, there is a... yeah, it wouldn't go too well. Anyway, so Christmas is all around us, and I think we're in the Christmas spirit today too. And I see lots of new faces, and you're all probably wondering, did I show up at the right place? But yes, this is Jacobs Well, and yes, we are making 3,000 sandwiches today, and it's going to be a lot of fun, but there's a few things we want you to know about before we jump into all that. But so why do we do stuff like this? This is actually, we're kind of happy because our producers extended the Late Show one more week to kind of embrace our sandwich making project, which we were we kind of thought we'd be cut after 1 week. If you'd seen it, you'd know why. But they extended us this extra week, which is a lot of fun. And, why do we do stuff like this? It's because, with Jacob's Well, we're just the kind of, we aren't a place, like you aren't coming to church here. We're a people, and we think our God is too big for any of the ways we typically package God and understand what that all means and how we do all this God stuff together. So we like to try things. And at this Christmas time, what could be more fun than to just have some fun with it and delight in all the great stuff that's around us and how we can be God's people together. So that's what that's kind of all about. And so we're glad you are here. And a couple of housekeeping things. If you are new, there's some coffee and tea just around the curtains there. You're welcome to get up at any time and help yourself with that. You've got I'll talk about that in just a minute. There's also, I don't know what else is back there, but then if you go down the hallway, there's restrooms. And all the kids are with us today. Starting in the 10th, we'll have all of our children's programs going on again from 6 months all the way through middle school. But right now, we're glad that all you kids are here and that you can help us with making the sandwiches. And folks, come on in. You don't need to wait for anything. And what else? The other thing that is still going on is the alternative gift market. For those of you who still haven't bought your Christmas presents or just have other reasons to do it, our alternative gift market is still going on. And I think Elf Willie has another message for us.
Are you stuck on Jacob's Well time? Christmas may be over, but the alternative gift market isn't. You can still make a difference. So act now, don't delay. Come to the alternative gift market today.
There's a long list of great gift options from great organizations. There are options for any budget. And there are Jacob's Wellers connected to each of these great organizations.
So I just want to say a word about that because it's sort of what we're doing today as well, and that we have what we call our Jacob's Well M&M. We encourage everyone who's part of Jacob's Well to have an M&M, and that, the little chocolates, that's fine too, but that is to have a ministry within the church and a mission beyond the church. Okay? So the idea about that is you have special gifts and skills and ability and availability, whatever it might be, whatever your personality, whatever that shapes you with, there's ways that it can be used to make everything better. And one of the ways is to find a ministry within Jacob's Well that you enhance who we are. We're incomplete without you and your ministry that you're doing here. And we probably don't even know what it is yet, but you can discover that. But what is more important is that we encourage everyone then to have a mission out in the world. So again, who are you? What's your abilities? And how are you shaped? And how can you exercise that out in the world in a really deliberate, committed sort of fashion? And all the alternative gift market items come from Jacob's Well people who have their mission in the world. And they're connected with these organizations. In some cases, they started them. And anyway, so they're offering those for us to connect with. So next year when we're doing this again, if you've got your mission in the world, and it happens to be the kind of organization or with the kind of organization that might have those sorts of things, let us know about it. But we think that's important. So today, our making 3,000 sandwiches is part of our mission in the world, but kind of the distinction is that coming here and helping us make sandwiches today is a really good thing, and I'm glad we're doing it. I'm glad you're helping us do it. But this is not in place of your mission in the world. I mean, we want you to find your place and for you to go out and do it. This is a way we can use our collective energy on a fun week like this to go ahead and just do some good in the world, and to be doing that through Catholic Charities. So that's kind of good, kind of fun. We're helping a couple of people from Voyagers Lutheran Ministries who we are in partnership with kind of understand their both ministry in the church and their mission in the world by being interns with us. We have Willie and Ren and Hannah have been around here a lot. I think they're all home with their families this week, so they aren't here. But you might be wondering, what do these interns do all week? Well, one of our interns, Willie, is Elf Willie. You probably didn't notice the connection. But this is actually what he does all week. You want to show the rest of that?
Oops.
How did I start? Are you worried about what you're going to unwrap for Christmas? Let's start off. Are you worried about what you're going to get for Christmas? Don't get locked in a box of mysteries. Are you worried about what you're going to unwrap on Christmas morning? Sorry. It said check out too many times. Okay. Did that make... Yeah, no, I think it's fine. Did that... Yeah. Did that make you feel like your Christmas gifts don't measure up? Blech.
Like your other Christmas
Like, are you still stuck on Jacob's Well time? Yeah, let's just... All right. Yep. Don't delay. Come to... Today?
act now.
For a limited time only, you can come down... For a limited time only, you can... Don't... What's happening? I just had a good one, too. Recording it again. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Act now. Don't delay. Come to the alternative gift market today. Market. Market, not market. Market? It's market. Why did I... Gosh.
You were doing it great. Just go ahead.
All right. Act now. Don't delay. Come to the alternative gift market today.
Yay, he got it right. Okay. So that's what Willie did this fall. He started that on September 1st. And no, anyway, that answers the age-old question, what do people that work at church actually do? So that's the answer to that. But I think we can take us a little higher level. You got a Christmas song for us to sing, I think, before we go in and meet our guests.
Noel, the angel did say, was to certain portion.
So, in all our busyness, they didn't bring me my chair this week. Look at, I'm sitting on the stool. Do I look short? Thanks. That helps my self-esteem a lot, guys. You may have noticed, this last song that they played was really pretty significant for us. Normally, our name is Jacob's Well, and we have a well that's just usually sits right over about here. And for this Sunday, we thought we wouldn't put it out. And so this is the first time we haven't had the well out, so we had the band sing First in the Well. And what? Okay, let's throw that one out. It might be better. Oh, thank you. Doesn't have wheels. But anyway, so we're going on here. Before our guest from Catholic Charities, Aaron Hasnudeen, comes out, I just want to let you know you got some stuff when you came in. There's an offering envelope. There's a communication card. We just love to know who's with us because this is how we're community together. So whether you've been here once or a million times, we ask you to fill us out. And don't do anything with it because we're going to be a little different. We'll be collecting these at the end of the service. But prayer requests, ideas, questions, better jokes that I can use next time, all that would be greatly appreciated. You also got a little postcard just talking about some of the things that are coming up these next few weeks. Next Sunday, we're starting a series. You may know in August every year, we do a series called God Flicks, and we look at some current movies and the themes that are going on in there. We're only going to do one movie, and we're going to do 3 of it. So instead of God Flicks, it's God Flick. And we're looking at Inside Out and kind of talking about emotional intelligence. And because God wants us to be whole, God created us to be whole beings. And one of the things that we do is that, we try to be just one thing rather than the whole thing. And anyway, so we'll spend 3 weeks talking about that. And so we kick that off next week. And next week also, as I said a few weeks ago, is my granddaughter's baptism here. And as you might remember, I am taking attendance. So let you know that. So come join us for that. After that, we're doing a series called The Human Race. We're going to dive into this very controversial, no easy answer question of race. And we're going to have some really special guests helping us talk about that. So that's going to be some good stuff as well. Looking forward to all of that. And oh, by the way, the kids and their kids ministries are going to be looking at the movie Inside Out during that time with us as well. So at this point, I want to welcome right off the warehouse floor, Aaron Hasnudeen, who is the food distribution director for Catholic Charities. And oh, come here. Got it. Next one. This is your theme song. I had a little talk with the higher ups at Catholic Charities, and whenever you walk onto the warehouse floor, they're going to be playing this from now on.
I hope so. I love it. You guys are awesome.
We should all have. Yeah,
we all need theme music, so.
Yeah, I was explaining to my family actually that I have a theme song too, and all our staff members at Jacob's Well have the same ringtone for me. So when I call, and it's the Imperial March from Star Wars. Anyway, so they've already made 2 of the sandwiches. So
nice.
You can
These
have
are
that.
lovely.
Yeah, you can enjoy that while we're talking. I don't want you to. So when we decided, we've been doing this for 3 years, making sandwiches, and this year we said, we gotta stretch ourselves. We made like 800, then we made 1,000. So let's make 3,000 sandwiches. But before we could do that, we had to find somewhere, make sure that someone could take them. So we called Catholic Charities, and Aaron, you said you can do it.
We can use them, yeah.
We can use them. All right.
Yeah.
So that's really pretty exciting. You want to tell? I'm going to have my sandwich. Do you mind telling us a little bit? Well, so what is who gets these sandwiches and stuff like that?
Well, so they'll come to Dorothy Day Center, and
Yeah.
we're going to freeze most of them, in all honesty. We go through, depends on the day, 20 to 250, depending on the day. They'll be used for detox program, and people come in late at night that can't partake in our late night meal called the EHP. We'll send some off to like other job sites where they pack up bag lunches for kids going to school, like Family Service Center we have in Maplewood. It's a family shelter. They might actually end up being used as a meal, like if something happens and things fall through the cracks, or a group is supposed to show up and can't make it due to the weather, or if like food product can't make it in time. So they'll be used in a myriad of ways.
So these are all through Catholic Charities sites around the cities.
Yeah, we have like 10 different kitchens around the city. We have just down the street, there's St. Joe's.
Yeah, we all know St. Joe's.
We have Opportunity Center over off of 17th in Chicago. There's Dorothy Day Center, which a lot of people are familiar with. We've got the Family Service Center in Maplewood. We have a few different like homes for chronic alcoholics. Glenwood, off of Glenwood and Lyndale. Another called SAR, it's like St. Anthony residents. So.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, you've got some big cracks in all this. So I think Catholic, sorry, got bologna and cheese in my mouth. But Catholic Charities has some pretty big goals. Like, what are they aiming at? What's this all about? What's the bigger picture of just handing out sandwiches to people?
Well, I mean, our end goal is to end, homelessness and hunger. And we actually use food as it's like the catalyst to get people in the doors, to feed them a healthy meal. We just started a new program about like a healthy meal initiative where there's a salad on every plate. We try and do fruit and vegetable with every meal. We're trying to cut back on the amount of carbs and increase the amount of protein. And the majority of it comes through donation too. So we rely heavily on Cisco is one of them. Land O'Lakes is another big one. We do weekly pickups with them. We procure a lot of our products through Second Harvest. They're based out of Maplewood actually. And then a lot of just private donations too, walking in the doors all day long, churches and whatnot. So.
How did you get connected to all this? What's your connection with running a warehouse, distributing food?
I used to cook with Catholic Charities for a few years. I actually found my way to them through the private sector. I used to run restaurants and kitchens. I did some consulting, and a fellow I hired years ago called me needing help. He was running one of the job sites that we contract, the Glenwood. And through him, I found my way to Catholic Charities. And actually left this summer to go do a consulting thing downtown St. Paul, and I came back. They needed help in the warehouse, and so I came back. And it's kind of a culmination of all my years of kitchen work, but now applying it to the warehouse, where I write menus with Mike DeYoung. He's our food service supervisor, and the two of us in congruence write the menus based on the food products we get in. And so yeah, that's a lot of complicated stuff that you're trying to coordinate that for an awful lot of people. Now, I remember hearing a little bit about the fact that I think you started out in a very different field with different opportunities, but you got pulled over towards this. Tell us a little bit about that, Aaron. Well, so I went to the U of M. I started off in music. I ended up finishing in physics. And then I was doing a master's program. I love music, by the way. I thought I was going to play my horn for the rest of my life, you know?
You're on next week, so.
Oh, great. My chops are a little rusty. But I left a master's program to start a catering business for film sets. And so, yeah, it was just too much fun. I love the kitchen and
you like connecting with people through food.
I do. Yeah. I love when people enjoy what they're eating, and I like to see people having a good time. So, all my fond memories growing up were big family meals and at the holidays and birthdays and whatnot. Going out to a nice restaurant on a birthday, and so I like doing that for people. But now I'm doing it a different way.
Yeah, and I think making a big difference. I mean, this is one of the basic building blocks. And you were telling me too, and you mentioned it a little bit here, but how you use the food as an entry point to find out more, like how you can service people in wider dimensions.
Yep. As they come in, like they check in, they get an ID card to be part of the program, and we're able to better assess their needs, see if they need housing, job placement, like what they need medically. We have a clinic at Dorothy Day Center. A few of the other locations have clinics in there as well. Opportunity Center has they have a foot care department where once a week there's a group that comes in from a church and they do foot massages, and they have a podiatrist come in and check out the homeless feet. So that's
crucial.
Yeah, it's crucial, especially if you're on your feet all day long, and
right.
So.
Right. So, any stories like how's this played out in someone's life, or what's maybe a tangible image of a family or something that's been affected by or assisted? I mean,
life throws everyone curveballs, and I recall a specific family about a year ago that they lost their home due to a fire, and they had nowhere to go. Their family was in other states, and they had nowhere to go, and so they ended up finding their way to the Family Service Center over in Maplewood, and where they were there for a month and a half, and they were able to then, through our other services, to find placement into a home. So.
Right. So a whole range of services, I'm sure, that supplied them, but maybe some sandwiches like this that they had for their lunches.
Oh, no, absolutely. I recall packing lunches for their kids with sandwiches like this. So, yeah, it makes a huge difference in the day-to-day life of these people.
Always made our kids bag their own lunches, but, right? Yeah, okay. So tell me, actually, I'm rather impressed. This is tasting pretty good. I didn't really have breakfast either, but this is pretty good. But still, when we make these sandwiches, people say white bread and kind of processed cheese and bologna, two slices of bologna. It's not like a real gourmet sandwich.
No.
Why this sandwich?
Because, we can freeze it, which is huge. Being able to freeze product and then use it when it's needed is a big deal. But if we were to put lettuce and tomato on there, mayo and mustard, we wouldn't be able to freeze it. It wouldn't keep. Right. So, plus we put mustard and mayo packets in the bag lunches so they can doctor it up, and
Right. So I just think that's a good thing to be clear about. Like, we aren't being stingy, and we don't want to give them the kind of sandwiches maybe you would want to make for yourself or at home. This is really a functional thing. The point is get the food to people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and on top of that, we make these things called snack packs that have a beverage. Typically, they have some kind of canned fruit, like a little fruit cocktail, something crunchy, something salty, something sweet. And so we try and hit all the bases, and we try and make sure it's nutritionally balanced. And so the sandwich brings the protein and the starch element in there, and dairy with the cheese. So. Yep. Yeah.
That's good. So, so Aaron is incredibly busy. Haas. Call you Haas. His nickname is Haas. Haas is incredibly busy, and Christmas holidays, he came in the warehouse on Sunday morning, and it just
I've been gone the last 2 days, and it's been a whirlwind. And I was, honestly, I'm a workaholic. I love to work. My fiance hates it.
We love work. No. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, he called me this morning and said, "Greg, I don't even know if I can make it." And I said he was going to come and speak, and then come back later and pick him up. And he said, I can pick up the sandwiches, but I don't think I can. I just can't get away long enough to come and talk to your people. And I said, can we trade? So you come and you tell people your story, and we'll deliver the sandwiches, so he doesn't have to come back and pick them up. So I was wondering, did anybody help with some transportation of some sandwiches to their warehouse this afternoon or after the service? You could probably, yeah. So hands. Okay. So good. God saw you. No. Actually, so it is in St. Paul.
It's in St. Paul. It's right across from the Excel.
Okay. All right. So we can get you the exact address, and so on, and we'll get that from Aaron. But if you're able to do that, Jeffrey right here, he'll be around and helping coordinate the sandwich making. He's the person to see, and he'll make sure that we won't use any more than we need to, but if you can help out with that, that'd be fantastic. And rather than making you just run around and entertain us, you can be out there helping people get connected with food, and that's more important. Hey, thanks for being with us today, Aaron.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right. God bless on your work. Yeah, that's
Cheers.
the go.
Thank you, guys.
As Aaron goes, our next guest, and I want to keep this moving so we have enough time to make the sandwiches, but I mean, there's a lot of people here. 3,000 sandwiches is a lot, but when you start dividing it by how many people are here and how simple these sandwiches are, we're going to do this pretty fast. I think next year we're going to have to do like 10,000. And I'll quit. What? 1 million. Okay, well, that's the next year. But I want to invite Katy Lesiak, who is right here. Katy is a nurse practitioner, and she's a child health consultant with the Minnesota Department of Health.
Right, I'm gonna do this.
Eat it. Welcome. Have a seat. So, why are you here, and why do you want to make it so hard for us to make sandwiches?
All right. Well, I love the idea of making sandwiches. I actually kind of like a bologna sandwich every now and then myself.
Oh.
But
That's
thank
yours.
you. Ooh, what is it?
Coffee. Do
Okay.
you drink coffee? I see my finger in it.
The idea of making 3,000 sandwiches with a bunch of people makes me really crabby as a nurse. And so as a nurse, like you think nurses are mainly smart people and nice people, but we're also very kind of OCD about germs. And I feel like it's my mission in life to do good work outside of church, and it's my ministry here to make sure we don't all make a bunch of hair sandwiches with salmonella to give to people today. So
That was poignantly put. Yeah.
that's my goal.
Okay. So.
Oh, and I forgot to mention my other qualification. About 20 years ago when I was in college, I took a food safety course, and I worked in the school cafeteria, so I feel like I kind of know what I'm talking about, more or less.
So you're saying that our making these sandwiches, we could maybe make them in ways that would get people sick, but I'm not sick.
Okay, so you're not sick. That's good. So that's a good starting point. Like, please don't make sandwiches if you're actively having fever, diarrhea, or vomiting. Sorry to mention it, but again, I'm a nurse. I can handle it. And we don't want people.
And we do have some other things for you to do. There's some other projects.
Yes,
we need to
that's
make
true.
cards that go with them and stuff like that. So there's
Yeah.
other jobs for you.
Although really, if you have fever, vomiting, and diarrhea, please go home right now. But if you just don't feel like you're up for making sandwiches, or maybe your kids are a little too young to make sandwiches, or you're not sure, like you're not that sick, but you're not sure if you should or not, then we have all kinds of fun things you can do to make cards or tags that'll go along with the bag, so people know that real people are behind the sandwiches thinking about them. So there's something for everyone.
That's great.
Except for the people with fever, vomiting, and
Okay.
diarrhea.
Well, we got a few straggling sandwiches and a few straggling people still coming in, but all I really have to say is 2 words. Food fight! No, we won't do that. Hey, let's give ourselves a hand. 3,000 sandwiches. I think it was about 35 minutes worth of production. I think that's worth our time, and I think we all learned that these are going to meet a very real need at a very right time for a lot of people. So I think this is a good thing to do. And if you want to explore more options with Catholic Charities and a lot of other organizations we can point you to, feel free to do that as each of us discovers and finds our own mission in the world.